All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Um, had to get things in order a little bit. All right, so hold on for a hot sec. All right, so hey, what's going down, Texas Marine? Hey, Daniel, what's going down? Uh, hey, what's up, Kelly Q? All right, so I want to take a minute to let some other people get on. What's up, Space Rice Crispy? As we go into this, and don't forget, if you get booted out, refresh your screen. All right. If something happens, refresh real quick. Gordon do good dog all the way to the bay. Vassus los. Bonjour, Miss Me. Kirabelini Kunichiwa. Ni hao ni ama. Sani bonani. John Barbaragani. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Kamusta ka. Kamusta pokayo. And Talafalava soy fua. All right. So everybody out here, this is going to be a lot of the videos that I do is important. All right. One of the things y'all have to remember is if we want people to wake up, people that speak as and give you the information that I do, our stuff should be shared. I have a lot of people from time to time that listens to what's being presented. All right, agree with what's being presented, but don't share what's being presented, because we have a culture that I'm gonna get into here. We have a culture based on who the media makes popular. I want y'all to understand this. We have a culture based on who the media makes popular. And we got to understand that the media never makes people popular without a struggle. Understand this. They never make people popular without a struggle unless they think it's someone they can control. Period. Unless they think it's someone whose message is not a threat. Period. All right. Your message is a best interest of us as Afro people. They are never trying to stop what wrecks the community of Afro people. Now you're getting we must understand. All right. Now, the BAW have been promoted as ad nauseum, not only by the media, and you have to ask yourself this question: why is it the media, the political system, shoving the BAW down our throats? She's not the leader of the community. She's the leader of why the community is in such disarray and disaster. Because while everybody's running around thinking that she's independent, she is not. While everybody is running around thinking she has no, the Caucasian male that runs the All right, let's see. All right, look like we're back up, people. Look like we're back up. All right. A couple of things that I figured out from the last episode that I could do. Um, so I was able to do that. This is like I said, a lot of these things happen. Like I haven't. Let me say this: all day today, I did not have a problem at all with my internet. All day, the other day, I did not have a problem with my internet. All right, I'm gonna just let you know straight off the top. Not a single problem with my internet. All right. And what's important is this, that as I said before, we are the people. We are the people, the ones that's really telling us what we need to do. All right, this is something I really want y'all to understand. I really want y'all to understand. Who are not only informing you about what's going on, but who are daring to have solutions. When it comes to solutions they don't like, and those solutions are these are the solutions going to control our own narrative, not those who have been doing us wickedly. The whole entire day. All of a sudden, every so we're going to have to see how Space Rice Krispies. What's going on? All right, look like we got things operating now. So what's up, Daniel? All right, what's up, Kelly? And to the rest of the brethren that's up in here, what's going down? All right. So as we break things down, all right, as we break things down, as we break things down, as we really look deeply into things. All right, what's up, One Loyal King? All right, I want to mention this. All right, so our problem is this, that especially, and this is something we cannot blame on the media, the political system, or anything else. And we damn sure cannot blame the Afro man for this. But certain of the Afro men we can blame. All right. So basically, this is what's going on. We got Afro men selling our community out by the droves. All right. We can't win. We can't win for nothing. We are being sold out by our own out of the new religion. I want y'all to pay attention to this. We got a new religion. All right. That new religion is BW worship. That's the new religion. It's the worship of the BW Punani. Because she has a shape, she can do no wrong. I want y'all to let that sink in for a minute. Simply because she has a shape, she can do no wrong. This is the saddest thing that's ever happened to the community. Because she has a shape, she could do no wrong. And when you travel outside of the United States, it becomes painfully clear that her shape compared to others is subpar, because what's making her shape is the clothes. And when you look at what comes with the shape, you really start questioning, is it really worth it? All right, so that's one argument. Here is the main problem. And yes, this is a problem. The main problem is this, that many have been trained and guided to worship and conditioned to worship the Punani and the BW over seeing about the future of children. Our children have no future. Understand, Afro children as a whole have no future because the adults are too damn selfish to make sure they have one. Community don't seem to have a future. Is this, that for too long, like camps, one of these dudes just lost All right, I'm back again. All right. Again, like I said, my channel was under attack by some entity because this doesn't make sense. And this and the argument for this is it's easier for them to do it. It's easier for them to do it because everything is Wi-Fi. All right, I just want y'all to know that. Hold on. All right. So because everything is Wi-Fi, and you got to understand this, they are pretty much connected with all of our stuff. All right. Because we have no software anymore that we use. And I want y'all to understand this. We have no software that we use anymore. Okay, I'm back. We have no software that we use anymore that's independently on our computer. Like everything is a yearly subscription. And by it being a yearly subscription, it kind of gives people control of your computer. And because it's things that you need, like Office Suite, Word, and stuff like that, you give Microsoft, and thereby Microsoft, you give Google, and they all have backdoor access to your computer. So when they want to shut certain people down, they do that. All right. When they want to shut certain people down, they do that because they can. Part of the reason people are too impatient to listen to what's going on. And so, Hosea, because we reject the truth out of impatience, because or that truth that we want doesn't match up with what we want, then there is a problem. All right, there's a problem. And so basically we're at a point where people are able to block a whole lot of stuff that we are trying to do. This is how they're able to shut us down. This is how they're able to silence voices. Now, pray tell, do you think this video right here would be a problem? Because if you want to destroy a people, you have them do it to themselves in this society. You pick the primary group. There's a reason why everybody goes through the women. All right. If they decide that they're going to betray the community or their men, the men are too much of suckers to prevent it. And by the time most of them, and here's the thing, by the time most start waking up, the destruction is well on its way. By the time most men wake up, the destruction is well on his way. All right. And so what do you do about it? It seems that not much can be done about it. Not much can be done about it. And now the only way to save the seed, if you ever watch the end of the world movies, the end of the world movies, Caucasians in Hollywood keep telling you that they want their people to survive, and there's always a man and a woman at the end. Or say they use a disease to wipe out people's ability to have a child, right? And then like this one black woman could have a child, and then everybody risked their lives to save this one woman because she had the secret to be to repopulate the human race. Notice there was no Afro men left, right? Who off the Afro men? It was we did it to ourselves. And we did it to ourselves in a way that you don't think. It wasn't like we did it to ourselves in black on black crime. Black on black crime cannot kill off our population just right. White on white crime do not kill off the Caucasian population. Our females do. When we get into things that are toxic to the upbringing, the mentoring of children, or even the mere fact of having children, then no society, no group of people can survive that. When you convince the women to be lovers of other women instead of men, the community can't survive that. When these same women go adopt children or have children to instill that into them, the brat, all right, and they look, all of this stuff is being passed down to us through the BAW. All right, here's some things that you don't understand. Two lies. Two lies. One is that anything is sexy, which that's a lie. It's not healthy, and it is not conducive to not the long life of anybody. So even the way we eat, lack of exercise, the daily stresses, all of that. When you look at all of that, all right, we can't survive that. When instead of having the nurturing woman, you get a woman that don't give a damn so much that they feed everybody poison. Now I don't mean literal poison. I mean the poison like stuff that's really not healthy for us because it's quick. Hardly any of them cook anymore. More men, you will find more men cooking meals Wow. Hey, y'all, this is getting crazy. This is really getting crazy. All right. And so basically, what I had to do was to log out and reconfigure my whole damn computer. All right. I don't know how it's remotely being done, but my Wi-Fi adapter in my computer was remotely being shut down. And as y'all know, this has happened since I've been back here in the United States. Since I've been back here in the United States, this kind of funny SH has been happening. All right. My Wi Fi adapter was being shut down remotely. And so I had to go in and reconfigure that part of my computer. And I'm asking myself, who has the power to do such a thing? But yeah, that's right. My Wi Fi adapter was being shut down, shut off on my computer, and I had to go reconfigure it. Y'all need to pass that around. How these systems are going and so this goes into what I'm talking about. So why me? Why my stuff? I kept telling y'all there's stuff that I see outside of the United States. Okay. I kept telling y'all that there are things that I am seeing outside of the United States. And one of the very things that I am seeing outside of the United States is that we Afro men do better. There is more love for us outside of the United States. But I think there's another problem with them and us traveling outside of the United States. And that problem is this, that when brothers like me leave the United States, all right, when brothers like me leave the United States and we go elsewhere with a level of authority, let me break this down now. With some level of authority, we are able to say what's really going on here. With some level of authority, being that we're from here, and you know how it is when you walk the walk and talk the talk and walk the walk of the talk that you talk. All right. And so basically, you figure on my little Peasley channel here, what is the damn threat that something has to go in and shut down my Wi-Fi adapter? Here's the strange thing too. So I have the 5G bars on my phone, and on my phone, I was able to go to other YouTube videos and watch them. But then when I went into Chrome and tried to stream, continue to stream, now what I did was I kept it turned on. All right. But when I went into Chrome to try to stream, all right, I was not able to do it. On your cell phone, you have to use Chrome. on my computer, I can use Chrome or what other things that I use. All right. So this is what's going on. That it's turning out that they want to silence the people that can do the most damage in keeping us woke, right? And while I was thinking that maybe I'm flying under the radar, maybe I am not. What's up? What's up, SC Made? All right. And this is why I think that a lot of the terminology that people are using came from my channel, came from me, came from my channel. Y'all know this. The big question out now, what do you bring to the table? That came from my channel first. But that was years ago. And all this stuff that I said previously are starting to gain traction because famous people who probably were watching my channel or somebody who put them up to it were watching my channel. And they start taking my raw information, repackaged it in a suit and tie, and put it out there. And all of a sudden, it's popular now, along with those people. While at the same time, those people plus other entities still try to shut down my voice. All right. And this thing seems crazy. All right. This thing seems crazy. So I really don't know what else to say about what's been going on since I've been back to the United States. Now I shared some things with some brothers. What's up, Backwoods Ride? All right. I've shared some things with other brothers that I would like to do for the benefit of Afro people. Right. Now, as you know, I'm Afro people first. But I also realized, and I kept warning the Caucasian male and those other hues that once they destroy us, they're going to keep on destroying. Because that's their nature. And because we are the most resilient, whatever works on us will work on everybody. I want y'all to understand. This has always been the regular people who wasn't trying to run people, who wasn't trying to run the world. All we wanted to do was plant our food, watch our children grow up, watch our children grow strong, continue the legacy of the children. Okay, and going so on and so forth. All right, this is all we wanted. We were never trying to control. We didn't even want their money. Understand, these people that's doing all this stuff, they're not even happy. Why do you think they so wickedly make everyone else miserable? Because they're not happy. But they can't help themselves to be destructive. All right. And this was the same path that we were led on. I mean, if you look at this, like I said, we were lied to in a couple of ways. They got most of the they got the black male population to think anything with a bunch of cellulite in their derriere is a good thing. because it looked good in tight clothing until you take the clothes off. Then them same clowns will spout the same lies that everybody wanted us to believe, only they were lies. What's the main lie? That Afro men don't take care of their kids. Where you will find that the most concerned about the health of the children have been the Afro men. And the ones who've been using the children as a weapon, as the powers that be knew that they would, have been the BAW. What's worse is that even as we look at this, that's why I'm leaving this one up a little bit. Even as we look at this, and this news come out, it is buried. It is buried within the talking points of what's going on in a so-called Black community. Why? Why is it buried? Because when you show that the Afro men are responsible fathers, especially when given the opportunity, then the narrative that the BAWs have been spitting about how worthless and how the Afro man ain't SH, it starts to fall apart in their faces. But they don't care so long as their simps and minions are not stay unaware of what the truth really is. The New York Times did this report. The New York Times did this report, and the data was from the National, all right, Centers for Health Statistics. That's where that data was from. Now, I didn't say this one. And y'all know me, I give credit to where credit is due. But the dude that came up with this, and this is around the time where Afro men had really waken up. You had Rick Scorpio, the Mad Bus Driver. You had a lot of brothers that was telling the truth. All right. Some of us got shut down thoroughly and had our complete. My channel was the only channel when those BW shut down the channels of Afro men that was not able to come back for some reason. I kind of know the reason, because there's a lot of political stuff that I had on my channel that turned out to be correct. And it seems to me that a lot of people wanted to keep that kind of information hidden. But because I put it out, a lot of people copied what I was talking about. So many people copied what I was talking about. So it's out there. All right. And one of the things that Sotomayor said, but it was because of the violence. He said that the worst place for a child to be is with the BAW. All right. At the same time, while that he was saying that, I was talking about this data here that came out like 2014. So, and I was talking about this data as it came out. This had always been the condition of children in the Afro family. And if you notice in the pink, maroon, whatever, that our children did the worst of anything, any condition, when they were with the BW alone. When they were with the BW alone, they were at the work. That's the worst place for a child to be. But if you look at it, look across all races, and at the time I showed around the world, the worst place for a child to be in a divorce, the worst place for a child, when we're going to talk about poverty, when we're going to talk about how they're raised, when we're going to talk about their future, is with the mother. So why is it that the courts intentionally reward the mother with the children? See, the courts, and they can't say it's the best interest of the child. The courts have been lying. PUMS.org. The courts have been lying. The courts have been lying, but we wanted this look over what they do. And you had a lot of sick brothers that looked past everything. Why? Because it was a big booty and a smile. Now, this comes from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Child maltreatment reports 2001 to 2006. And it's gotten worse. We see a lot of times these women leaving children out in the middle of the street at night in the snow to be run over by a car. Y'all remember the video I put up? I was in Brazil when that came out, and that showed Selma. We were sitting there at the pizza place. I usually take the brothers to that hustle in the airport. And me, Selmina, and me, we were sitting there almost with tears in our eyes. And the dude was like, so this is what we do. And so Caucasian men, along with the brother, all the men stopped because they saw something in the world. Then they saw that, and then this BAW come out of nowhere. Oh, and then tried to tell the excuse that a baby that couldn't barely lift its head, a baby who could barely lift its head, got out of the car seat, clamped down out of the car, and crawled to the middle of the street. What kind of evil would cause somebody to put a baby in the middle of the street to be run at night in the snow, to be run over by hit by some? That saddens me. See, American Gods. There was a show called American Gods. Probably still is a show. But a lot of people stopped watching it when they got rid of Orlando Bloom, who played Nancy. Anansi. Anansi was an African spider god, kind of like the god of mischief and wisdom and stuff like that. And he basically was addressing anger. How anger is a good thing. All right. And what happened is, what got me into all of this came out 2001 through 2006. And it's worse now. That we was talking about child abuse and neglect and child fatalities. Right? Now, on the top one, if you look down a little bit, right? If you look down a little bit, this is where I got 71% of abuse and neglect is from the mother involved, but not the father. And 70.8%, and anything over 5, I just rounded up to 71, because there's no such thing as a 0.6% of a child. So 71% of neglect is from the mother, even though they get the children most of the time. But so of all the neglect, 71.6% is the mom, 70.8% of fatalities, child fatality, is the mom. And you raise that about 10% when you want to add in the Afro women, the Black woman. That statistic goes up from 5 to 10%. Because, and that might be generous, because if when I showed you in every other negative statistic, even though they're the minority at 12, 13%, they do more of this than all other women combined. Like if we get the new HIV statistics and stuff, when we was looking at that, they were 65% of the population of women that got it. Okay, 65% of the whole population of women. That's the Caucasians, the Hispanic, all of the rest combined. They were more than everyone else combined. All right. When we looked at the abortion, they were more than the Caucasian women by a percent, but more than everybody else. It wasn't even close. The Caucasian and the BAWs was just in a race to see who could just take the most lives through this. All right. So this wasn't even close. All right. It wasn't even close. It's not even close, y'all. What's up, Myth the Legend, IBE? All right. It's not even close. Brothers, it is not even close. But it's the brothers that get the bad rap. It's the brothers. And here's the worst part of all of this. As we look at all these negative numbers, as we look at all of this, none of it that they like, oh, you must be angry. That's what started my whole movement to take care, to look out for children in the favelas. And if Colombia open back up, if they get some sense and realize the hypocrisy and how bad things are, and that their policy is basically racism, because everybody in the world is starting to understand that it's the Africans and the Afro men or people in America that's not getting these juices. It's stuck all up in their arm because we saw it for what it was from the beginning. So that's why they're having these policies. Trust me. Why else would you tell one group of people you don't have to get tested, but they're the ones that's the main carriers? But you allowed it because you were using this thing to control the flow of people. All right. So when you say the father but involved but not the mother, that's only 29.4, and 29.2 as far as fatalities. The father involved but not the mother. But the mother involved but not the father is in the 70%. I want y'all to understand that. But all this is okay. When we look at this, we say a lot of these dudes, because Well, body. They got a body. All right. And so, breaking the science. All right. Breaking the science. So, this is science. This is people that did research, went and looked into all of this meticulously. The stuff that's going on in the medical profession now is not science, it's control. And it's money off of other people's misery. But 71% of children killed by one parent are killed by their mothers. 60% of victims are boys. Let that sink in. And again, raise that from 5 to 10% to get the black female population that's doing this. So it's more like 75 to 80% of the children in black homes who are killed by their mothers. And the 60% are boys, yes. In 1994, Susan Smith murder of son Michael and Alex, national headlines for months. The reason why her case got national attention was because of her overt racism and saying a black man did it. All right. And the media was ready to believe her horror story. And that's what made it front page. The media. When we look at why most people believe the lies instead of the truth, if you notice that at the bottom of it, it's the media. The biggest enemy to the truth is turning out to be the media. All right. I saw a statistic that a day ago or 2 days ago that 700,000 people watched CNN, 11 million watched Joe Rogan. That CNN needs to drop to near zero. All right. It needs to drop to zero. We need to stop getting our news from the media. Period. This is why I put the data up in my videos. I wanted to deal with this real quick. Domestic violence is not always one-sided. All right. But I wanted to deal with this. Let's do this real quick. I wanted you to see that. And one of the things that I wanted you to see is this right here. All right. So you saw the author of this report. all right, and you saw that the author of the report was Harvard. Yes, Harvard. All right. So when they say it's not all off the one-sided, these right here want to exert so much control over the Afro male that we've watched a lot of men get hit, assaulted, and all they could do is defend themselves by putting their hands up because they have been indoctrinated by their mothers to never put their hands on a woman, no matter what she does, no matter how much his life is at risk. He is not allowed to protect himself. I want y'all to think about that concept real quick. Who else? Remember, I keep telling you that these people, these BAWs are the right hand of supremacy. Who else puts Afro men and his family in a position where they're not allowed to protect themselves while they assault us? Remember, the dudes that wore the sheets, they made laws to take away guns from Afro people so that they could ride in unabated and lynch them. The laws about gun control started so that when Caucasian males felt like they want to lynch and R-word the females, they got a posse up, came and did what they want to do because they knew that there weren't going to be any guns in the house. In some situations, with a couple of brothers that used to come in, we learned that many a times there were aunts who hid the weapons of uncles so that her boyfriend from the white sheep group could come in and lynch their uncles. This was an actual story from one of the brothers that used to listen to the channel. If you just look at this, "25% of the people surveyed, 28% of women and 19% of men." So there was more women than men, and all admitted, all almost, well, let's say 28% of women, 19% of men. Okay, women admitted to perpetrating more violence, 25% versus 11%. And then would turn out and be the victim of the violence that they perpetrated. Because some men realize, wait a minute, I'm stronger than her. I'm going to defend myself. When the violence was one-sided, both women and men said that the women were the perpetrators about 70% of the time. When the violence was one-sided, both women and men said that women were the perpetrators. Where's this coming from? Harvard. They tried to bury this. They tried to hide this study. They tried to make sure this never sees the light of day. Only we got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all this stuff to show what this indicating, especially when you look in the Afro community. Do you have brothers just decide, no, you going to get this 2-piece with some fries? But we got dudes running around and saying because these got a body. Understand this. Dudes are running around saying that we should not leave these alone because, well, look at their body. One dude, he's a Hebrew Israelite. He's real popular on TikTok, right? People ask him all kind of questions, but at the end of the day, he's nothing but a simp. And so I was watching. Somebody sent me a video by Adonis. I think it was Brother Dwight. Damn. Oh, he's still in Germany. Okay. They sent me a video. And this dude says that even though these women murdered our children, set men up, they're not cooperative. They are combative. They don't listen, and they will not submit. That we as Afro men shouldn't leave them alone. And then he said, because we want them to be a ride or die. Okay, so he's talking for thugs. He's not speaking for good men. Because these women ain't never been ride or die for good men. Remember that 70% of divorces are initiated by them. Why? Because they want to take the man's money and children and get more money for child support. And while they do that, abandon their children in the home on a nightly basis so that they could go to the club and live their best life off of that man's money. Because that man's money is used to get them expensive cars, nails done, tattoos, and all the rest of that stuff, makeup and everything. And what happens? The child suffers. But nobody gives a damn about the child. All they care about is worshiping them because they got a coochie. Period. This is the problem. BW worship is the problem. These dudes will send money to a picture before they donate money to somebody that's trying to help children in the diaspora. They'll send it to an Instagram model in Africa, an Instagram model anywhere for just having a picture like this or half clothed. Half clothed. This is the breakdown of abortion. Why the BAW destroyed our children. Look at these excuses. Not ready, can't afford a baby right now. Completed my childbearing and other people depending on me. Children are grown. Don't want to be a single mother. I'm having relationship problems. All these, right? All these start with that quote from Tommy Sotomayor that these women pick dudes based on their feelings, and their feelings have been making effed up decisions from the beginning. But according to this, since 1973. Since 1973, y'all. All right, let's look at this. They use this. All right, they use the R word. All right, the R word is 0.3%. When we look at husband or partner once, that's going to be 0.5%. Possible problems affecting health, of the fetus is 3%. Physical problems with the health of the mother is 4%. Now, when you take the husband or partners want me to have an abortion, that's 0.5%. But the final decision for that woman to go through it or not is 100% the woman. They have no say. She uses them as an excuse, but they have no say, because she could say, well, you know what? F what you want. I'm going to do this. Whether the husband or that partner pay for it or not, it's 100% their decision. They blame their decisions on everyone else. 3% don't want people to know I had sex or got pregnant. But they got looks. So according to these dudes, these Hebrew Israelites, that's a part of these camps. There are Israelites that are not, and they ain't put up with any of this BS. That understand that scripture says we should leave these women alone. All right. Only the ones that repent. All right. You got, let me make sure we got this clear. Clarification on this. That we are on one accord with this. All right, let's make sure we are on one accord with this. And this would be this, that the BAW, all right, the BAW is only worthy of us if she is, one, a widow. If she's a widow, I would take in a widow and her child because she's a widow. If the child is a bastard, meaning that maybe she got R word, right? All right, that's not on her. All right, it's not on her. So yeah, we take her in. All right, we take her in. All right. There are 8 groups in Deuteronomy and 9 in Ezra. 8 groups in Deuteronomy and 9 in Ezra. We'll go over them. They all have one thing in common. These groups all right, these groups, right? These groups have one thing in common, and that they were all black, so to speak. All right. So I want you to understand that. All right. So I want you to understand that that's what these people have in common. All right. Right. And stuff. And they did what the moms trained them to do. There's generations of women's lib mothers in the Afro community who blamed the Afro men for problems that Caucasian women were having with their men that were never a problem in our community. All right. This is what women in Southeast Asia is finding out. This is what Colombian women are finding out. This is what Mexican women are finding out. And this is why we have favor. Okay. We have favor with those women for this reason. What happened is that we had always honored the woman for her femininity. All right. We had always honored the woman for her femininity and queen like behavior. And then the BAW, here's the problem, and this is why they're All right, look like I seem to be back now. All right, what I was getting ready to show you is this. All right, let me pull it up real quick. All right, funny. This is what I wanted to show you. Deuteronomy. All right, let's see. Let's see the nations. All right, here it is. Deuteronomy 7:1. All right, Deuteronomy 7:1. These are the nations that we are not supposed to intermarry with: Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Ewites, Jebusites, 7 nations mightier than us, right? All right, that's one. Hey, what's up, Jamal? The other is, if we go to Ezra, that's 9. When we go to Ezra, you got the Canaanites, all right? And the reason why we don't intermarry with them as to their abominations, like in the first one. The first one's because they turn their sons and daughters away from serving the Most High. The second one, this is because of abominations. So what's the key here? You do not marry with anybody that turns you from the Most High to another deity, and you don't marry those who commit abominations. Hold on. So, bottom line, what did these people do? They committed abominations. What abominations, pray tell? All right. What abominations, pray tell? Abominations like killing their children, sacrificing their children to an other gods, by worshiping an other god. Remember, Jesus is God to Christians. That's that Trinity stuff. All right. That's that Trinity stuff. The Trinity stuff is Jesus being God, Jesus and God being the same. The same claims that, quote unquote, the accuser made, that I shall sit, I shall have my throne that on equal plane with the Most High. Well, that's Jesus. Think about that. The other thing these people have in common is they were all so-called black. Yes, that's the other thing they've had in common, that they were black. All right. These nations that we're not supposed to be a part of, they sacrificed children. They turned they would turn the people away from serving. We would be turned away from serving the Most High and His commandments. All right. You don't marry anybody that does that. Who turns us away now? It's the BAW. Who sacrificed their children? That means through abortion and stuff. It would be the BAW. Who gets men to worship their body instead of the Most High? It is the BAW. Who says that because they got a body that they are above reproach? The BAW. They taught their sons. Who taught their sons that no matter what a BAW does to you, you stick with her no matter what? Even though the commandment says that certain offenses, you put them away. The BAW. Who says that there is no difference in anything? I mean, think about this. One of the things that Kevin Samuels pointed out, well, he didn't. One of the things that is clear about watching this channel is all BAWs think they are the same as the VAWs that did the work to keep themselves in shape. So because they could get thugs and dudes that need a place to stay to run all up in them, they think they are on equal plane as the woman that get better quality of men, at least men with cars and a place to stay. But this is how bad it is. Men with cars and a place to stay understand that they are at such a risk with these BAW that they get, that they need to have on hand red hot sauce, or that Louisiana grade hot sauce. It's bad when you have to have hot sauce in your house for something other than chicken. It's real bad. This is what sells. So everybody used them to sell products to weaker minded dudes who will throw money at anything. And that's why the community as a whole is so broke. At the end of the day, this is the focal point as to why our children inherit dust. Even if they get that, like the woman who died and left her all this stuff, all the family stuff, to the pastor. Not even to the church, to the pastor. That tells you something. The women that serve in these churches, the pastor is their man. These people got us sidetracked so bad that we think that the community is in trouble because of black on black crime. What foolishness. And let me illustrate just how stupidly foolish this thing is. This is so foolish because of this. And let me break this down like this, brothers. The foolishness behind this type of worship, all right, the foolishness behind this type of worship is this. All right, this is the thing. More than crime, more than accidents, more than cancer. All right. When I brought up the statistics on abortion, all right, crimes was below accidents. More Afro people die from accidents than crime. Let me repeat that. More Afro people die from accidents than crime. So what's the deal here? Even though more people die from accidents than crime, all right, we can survive. If we survive the people that die from accidents, since twice as many people die from accidents, twice as many Afro people die from accidents than crime. Black on black crime do not kill. Let me repeat this. Black on black crime do not kill more people than accidents. Accidents kill more people than black on black crime. And AIDS, right? None of them got anything on abortion, which if you add all of those up together and almost double them, the BAW kill more Afro people than all those things combined and almost doubled. That's what we can't survive. That's the thing that is making us go extinct. And all you're getting, get an understanding. That's the thing that we should not let pass. If you want your child to survive the womb, then it seems like you put your child's seed at more at risk by being involved with a BAW than anyone. The next person you put your child at risk with is the Caucasian women. The women that are not destroying the children in their womb, or the East Asians, or the Asian women, and the Hispanic women. Just straight out of just the laws of probability, you do better as an Afro man with any woman but the BW. And even the divorce rate says that. Even with dudes that with Afro men that marry BAW versus Afro men that marry every other group of women. Remember that stat sheet I put up on divorces and marriages. Afro men divorces is higher with BWs than any other group of women. Our relationships are more of a struggle because we have more people that attack the relationship. The reason why everybody else do well is because their relationships are left alone. The BW gets with a Caucasian man, her relationship is left alone. Lena Horne, Maya Angelou, and all of them. The BW have been dating and getting run through by Caucasian men since after slavery, since they had a choice to do so. especially when they wanted to be in the fame industry. Remember when the Afro man was getting lynched, beaten up, and thrown into a river to the point where he was beaten unrecognizable for whistling at a woman he never whistled at a Caucasian woman. These BWs were being run through with the white D. All right. They've been doing this, and now they're trying to change the narrative. Every wicked tactic that our government come up with that's run by the sheep people, the BW have adopted and they're trying to use it on us. Oh, men were talking to Caucasian women before Loving versus Virginia. No, like one or two Afro men. The rest were being lynched for looking at them. It's been the BW that's been parting her feet for Caucasian D throughout the history. Throughout the history of this country, it's been the BW. All right, if the BW could pass, she did. All right, in all our getting, let's get an understanding. If she could pass, she did. All right, when she could pass, she did. They really never gave a F about us, right? Only our resources. Yes, you got it correct. Choose your own path, brethren. You have to choose your own path. If you allow other dudes to choose your path for you because they worship the person that's most likely to destroy your child and destroy your life, then you're going to have some serious problems. All right. Here's the thing. When the Most High said that there are groups of people we're not supposed to be with, people were like, oh, we can let the BAW skip for her crimes against us. That was just meant for white people. No. No. When you really look at it, all those groups in Deuteronomy, all those groups in Ezra, all right, they were all melanated. Nathaniel. They were all melanated. All right. We have always been betrayed by our own as Afro men because dudes were doing things as part of a group, and the leaders of the group wanted to exert power. And so while they look like the appearance of, oh, speaking for something, I want to say this. All these women going into this Hebrew Israelite camp and all the rest of them going into this all right, all these groups, all right, all these groups, I want y'all to understand these. All these groups they're single males, single females, but they're a part of these groups. I want y'all to think about that for a second. All these groups are single. All right, this is for anybody who wants to join and have this conversation if you have anything. All right. But I want y'all to understand that. I just put the invite. All right. All right, so I want you to get that understanding. All these groups are full of single people. They're promoting getting the people running these groups rich. It's the new church system, but only the Caucasians realize that people aren't falling for the church system anymore because some brothers got people into really reading what scripture actually says, and they started understanding that when you use the Old Testament and the New Testament, that they conflict with one another. They started to then realize that the people who used the New Testament used it to pretty much do whatever the hell they wanted to do because, the Jesus character was going to just forgive them for anything that they do. Jesus being the Caucasian man, the sheep man, he'll forgive you for everything. All right. Brothers, let me say this. This is why this is important. If you haven't, subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell to get the links, all right, for when I'm up. Because yes. That and read books by Atwell. All right. Or just read the Old Testament and compare it to the New. Old Testament, I am Jehovah that brought you out of the Ahia, that brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. You should have no other mighty ones before my face. New Testament, hey, I'm the new mighty one before the Most High's face. You should not bow down. You should not make any images in the heavens above, earth, waters under the earth, and bow down to them. Oh, I'm the new image, white, blue-haired guy with long, stringy hair. Bow down and worship me. Oh, and even pray to me. And end your prayers by saying, in the name of a fictitious name that's in English, that has nothing to do with a Hebrew name. Oh, and don't worry about it, because the whole world accepts that name, which doesn't make a damn sense. It don't make no sense, but it doesn't matter. Because all people needed to hear that is, if you wish upon a star, your life is going to get better, even though it's not getting better now while you're living. It'll get better when you die. That don't make sense either. All right. See, so no one has a problem. If you want to join in, you can real quick, but no one has a problem and says, you know what, I had enough. And I looked at scripture and I see that I'm not supposed to be fooling with somebody that's going to murder my child in their gut, or draw me away from the Most High to get me to worship some stringy hair, blue-eyed Caucasian man over the Most High, who was our real creator. All right. And all I get an understanding. We're not supposed to be falling for that mess. Right? We're not supposed to be falling for that mess. So let's not fall for that mess. All right. When it says, and all that get an understanding, start understanding everything. There's a symbiotic relationship in everything. Don't just study the Bible, study science too. Study science, pay attention to politics. Try not to get involved with politics, but pay attention to it. Think about how much your vote is not anymore. A lot of these states want to do all mail because Biden said it's about who counts it, right? Is easier to deceive. It is easier to deceive and into office when the only thing that people are counting is mail ballots. It's harder to do it when people actually take a voting holiday and physically vote in person. Why are they doing these mail-in ballots? And why do they want to get them done before this next Congress? Because if people go in person, people can actually see and use the polling data and understand who actually voted for who. So that if everybody knows that the Democrats should be wiped out. They're already starting the narrative right now. Oh, that is going to be close. It's not even close. Nobody wants the Democrats in there. Hardly. It's not close. But if they get the mail-in ballots in, the Democrats will win again. But they won't win. Because it's easy to steal stuff when people don't show up. And if people allow their legislatures to make them so lazy that they don't have to show up and walk anywhere, and even if they do it, everybody should walk down if you're going to vote, you should do it in person so that nobody can, if you're not going to vote, make it public that you did not vote. And if you're going to vote, do it in person, because that's the only way it's going to count. Because if you let mail-in ballots work, you will never have a voice again. All this is about keeping the people in power that are destroying us, all the way down to the BAW. Because at the end of the day, what we have learned in the so-called Black community, what we have learned is if the laws allow, we got many in our community that will use the same laws that were meant to harm us, so long as it gives them an edge and Caucasian approval. Y'all need to think about that. All right? It's that bad. Things are really that bad. All right. Things are about to get really, really bad. If they are able to get these across all these state legislators, this mail-in ballot stuff, y'all don't even see the danger of what's going on. Y'all don't even see how y'all being played. Some of you. Some of the brothers here see it. I'm not sure everyone does. But I'm saying, pay attention to this. They want you to be lazy enough to stay out of politics as much as possible. If they send a mail-in ballot to your house, ignore it. Go down and do it yourself. If you don't do it yourself and you allow them to send some junk in because you was just too lazy to go stand in line, then you deserve whatever it is you're going to get. And trust me, you won't like it. Period. You will not like it. These people will take everything. They're already doing it. The people that are in office now are already taking your freedoms away. And by freedom, if you're an Afro man, they're taking away your freedom to even live. And by live, I mean not be shot. They want to disarm you. Once they disarm you, you're done. I'm going to say this. Brothers, I am going to say this. We need to stop falling asleep so hard that when people bust into our homes, especially when we know we haven't committed any crime, understand this. When this is why we live according to the commandments. Brothers, we need to arm ourselves one way or the other. Because if we're going to die, we should go out fighting. Period. We should go out fighting. If we're going to die, we need to go out fighting. Now, I'm going to say this. If you buy a home and somebody just busts in unannounced, start shooting. Period. Because whether it's the authorities or not, they come to kill you. That's what we can see by the evidence of what's being done to a lot of brothers. Understand this. To a lot of brothers, that's what's being done. And the other thing, these ignorant dudes that sit on these channels and promote some ignorant stuff. Oh, this is the dude that just got killed was just like Breonna Taylor. No, it wasn't. That woman was shot in the hallway. How her boyfriend wasn't shot is beyond me. We're still trying to figure that out because they shot at the police first. And she was a trap queen. She was a trap queen who they had been telling for months with jail phone call records. They need to be checked because you don't compare this dude to that woman. Throwing up a name, not even knowing what went on in the case, making yourself look stupid. This is why real brothers that get into real trouble, that get killed for really no reason, can't get justice. Because we got ignorant people trying to compare what happened to him to Breonna Taylor. They were actually after Breonna Taylor. They actually had a warrant for Breonna Taylor. She was a trap queen. She was holding the money. They had jailhouse records and phone conversations on Breonna Taylor. The brother that got killed in Minneapolis, right, was innocent of everything. He wasn't even the target of the warrant. But you see how these dudes take a female simply because she's a female and her name is popular, and these soft dudes, mainly left-leaning, and let's say left-leaning because they don't ever study anything. You shouldn't be leaning anyway. You should try to get as much of the truth as you can. But this is how bad these dudes worship the BAW. That they don't pay attention to anything that the BAW did. And everything about Breonna Taylor, how they did that was not by the book. But they had a reason to look for her. They had a reason to get a warrant. They just didn't do it by the book. They did a lazy job. But this is nowhere near like that. And that's why nobody respects these people crying out for justice, because they're not really interested in justice. Like Kyle Rittenhouse. These ignorant people like, oh, he was racist and he shot a pedo and a woman beater who was attacking him while he was on the ground, even with him being hit first by a skateboard. With the other dude pulling out a weapon too. And those of us that watched the video, well, we understood. We were like, no, he protect, because I'm about justice. I want justice for Afro people. So if I want justice for Afro people, I'm gonna see something that's just everywhere. You can't be blind to justice when it applies to other people if you want justice for yourself. But no, these are coochie worshipers. Oh, these are worshipers of the booty. Oh, or they're trying to be like the BW, if you know what I mean. All right. No, we need to stay away from all that. The brothers that's oh yeah, and they still ain't found the money she had. Everybody's looking for that money that she had from those drugs. She might have spent it on nails and hair. Who knows? Brothers, we need to arm ourselves. All right, we need to arm ourselves. All right, we really need to arm ourselves. And anyone breaking into our house, we need to start firing. Because no matter if it's a criminal or the police, they mean to kill us. And either way, you could take it to court after that. Especially when you know you've been living a clean life. See, that's the advantage of living a clean life. You know that no one has no reason to come after you for anything. That man just got off of work and was sleeping. And that's sad. All right. But the sad part is, it's hard for us to get justice. It's hard for people to see anything wrong because these weak-minded simps, the first thing they do is compare what happened to that dude to some stuff that doesn't even make sense. They just mention names because the media mentions it. And then instead of actually doing studying themselves, they use the media narrative. Everybody and their grandmother that saw the Kyle Rittenhouse videos, they're like, everybody was like, oh, yeah, that care about righteousness. Think about how wicked the community is, run by the LG and the BAW. They accused a dude of racism for shooting a pedo, a woman who were white. Let that sink in. That had nothing to do with us melanated people. Like BLM has nothing to do with melanated people. Think about that, though. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. He wasn't a target. He's supposed to have a gun, and he had a license for it. He's supposed to have the gun under the cover. And he had his domicile trying to get some rest. They don't need to just be fired. They need to start being put on death row. Period. They need to start. Their families need to suffer the way they made Afro family suffer. Yeah, we know. We know. But this is something to understand. All right. That we need to just protect ourselves. None of these authorities are in our best interest. Understand this. You got crooked people now running everything, thinking that people are so dumb and lazy, and I'm inclined to believe them, that they can make all mail-in ballots to whereby they could just put whoever they want in office, regardless of what people say. Because if it's all mail-in ballots, right? If it's all mail-in ballots, There's no way to tell. Think about that. When people walked down there, they had people waiting at the thing. So who did you vote for and why? And they could tell by enough people that, oh, this is what's supposed to happen. You see what I mean? Well, yes, 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 yes. We need to do the brothers, the military brothers. We need to get together and probably do one on how to properly clean, maintain, and stuff like that. A lot of these things. All right. So, brothers, it is what it is. All right. So I'm about to bust a move. Yep, about to bust a move. Kind of be done with this one, and we'll be back again, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Maybe tomorrow we'll be back. All right, and we'll delve into some more issues that's happening and some more solutions. The only solution here is we need to arm ourselves to protect ourselves because nobody is down for us. The other thing, we need to look at the BW as a spy or an agent of the system. All right, as an agent of the system, because she don't mean us any good either. All right. Two, these dudes said we need to wait on them to be ride or die for us. They've never been ride or die for the good Afro man. And by good, I mean the one that cared about children, the one that wanted to build strong children, and the one that wanted to actually protect the community that he had from everybody that meant hostilities towards his seeds and his community. We don't have that. All right. So, with that said, oh, let me remind you, not only do the thumbs up, because we're not good at that on this channel either, but subscribe so that when these things keep getting taken down and I pop them back up, we'll be good. All right. And what else? With all of that said, all right, with all of that said, um, for those that like to donate to the channel, oh, we're going to do another live tomorrow because I need to figure out what I have. Because Brother Texas Marines have been helping me with the soccer balls and everything that was going to Colombia and Brazil. But we're going to change some stuff up because of the new laws that the new rules that Colombia put into pay with getting into the country. All right. So with that said, um, my Cash App and my PayPal me will be in the description box. All right. So for those that like to help us as we try to look out for children, um, it'll be appreciated. Remember, you take care of yourself and family first, right? But if you have some abundance, hit the lottery. Hey, look a brother up. All right, and share the videos. When this come up, all the log offs will be kind of condensed. All right, so we'll see how this works. All right, so with that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul, y'all. Probably see y'all tomorrow. Probably a little earlier. Tomorrow we'll probably start at 7. All right. Peace, love, and soul. I'm out.